In the quiet of 1980s Naples, picturesque sunsets disguised the growing problem of domestic violence. Victimized in their homes and abusive relationships, mothers and children feared for their lives with nowhere to go.
Every single day, someone was dying or becoming a severely abused victim, locked away, trapped in their home, trapped by their abuser.
Domestic abuse can happen anywhere. It crosses all boundaries. It does not discriminate. When you're a victim in your own home, where do you find shelter from the storm?
At the beginning, when we came to this community, and we started to talk about the issue of domestic violence, what we found is that most of the community was saying, well, that's not here in Naples. That's not an issue that we have in Naples. And what they didn't understand is that, yes, indeed, we do have it in Naples.
Nobody talked about it. It was very quiet. We had to make sure that those things were on the lips of every single person, on the tip of their tongue. They had to talk about abuse. They had to talk about the shelter, the need for the shelter.
In 1988, following 2 years of planning, the Spouse and Abuse Task Force was granted permission by Naples City Council to purchase a 20-bed safe haven for domestic abuse victims. The shelter for abused women and children came to life inside a small apartment fourplex in East Naples.
We had office space in one location and our residential shelter in another location. We were frequently having to find new places of safety for our residents because we only had 20 beds in our old shelter.
In our first year, a small dedicated staff served 95 adults and children. As the community's awareness of us grew, we responded with increased services. Within the next 3 years, a bilingual court advocate began representing the shelter at the Clerk of Courts. Counseling became available in Immokalee. Options Thrift Shop opened, and a children's advocate was hired. Finally, women and their children had a place to go to escape their tormentors and start a new life, surrounded by friends, support, and guidance from trained counselors. Even in the cramped quarters of our original location, clients found relative safety and security. As the community became more aware of our presence, the number of clients seeking our help grew. It became apparent that there needed to be a bigger, safer facility to offer shelter and help victims back to a better life. In 1999, plans were drawn for a new state-of-the-art building that would encompass safety, security, and the chance to start fresh.
When the board of directors decided that they wanted to start a capital campaign and to build a new building, the impetus for that was actually a golf tournament that was sponsored by Ken Venturi.
And historically, Bo Venturi was the wife of CBS golf analyst Ken Venturi, and she was also a volunteer at the shelter. So when Bo died, Ken hosted a golf outing with pros from across the country, and that golf outing raised close to $1 million for the shelter. We hosted a celebratory groundbreaking once we had that seed money and once we knew that we could proceed. Now, Ken and many of his friends felt as they were out golfing that they would often see a butterfly, and they felt that that was the spirit of Bo that was coming with them each and every day. So that day at the golf outing, we had a soloist and she started to sing.
We released butterflies at that point, and a butterfly came and just, lit on her shoulder. And so everybody was just like, ah!
And it stayed there the entire time she sang her solo.
And the butterflies were just everywhere, and it was just a beautiful, beautiful event.
And there was not a dry eye in the house. And we all knew that the spirit of Bo and the spirit of empowerment was with us that day and for every day to go forward.
When the first shelter location was proposed, neighbors fought against its opening. When plans were released for the new facility 11 years later, the community gave their full support.
The fact that we encountered many people who were so dedicated to what we were doing, and the outpouring of the dollars as well as the support was just mind-boggling for most of us who were on the board.
Plans for the new facility included multiple kitchens with an open pantry, a healing arts room, garden, kennel, children's playroom, and plenty of room for counseling services.
I remember deciding which room was going to be for what and what we would name this room, and we had naming opportunities for donors.
By having our new building, we were able to bring the women and their children, and keep them safe, but then we were able to address all their other needs. It could be legal advocacy, it could be health issues, it could be transportation, getting a job, making sure that the kids were in school. There are so many other facets to it.
As the need has grown over the years, so has our outreach. Additional support groups were added in both English and Spanish, as well as programs for creative counseling, elder abuse, and the Women of Means program. Our office in Immokalee has been providing services to Eastern Collier County residents since 1991. In 2004, the Immokalee Outreach Office expanded its staff.
So our goal is, when we go out in the community, when we provide outreach, is to educate the community members. We do a lot of community education so that they know if someone goes through their doors and needs services, or they recognize some of the red flags, and call our, they know where to refer.
In 2008, we opened 4 transitional cottages to help participants back to a safe, comfortable life.
Our transitional living program is one of our big success stories, because that's where a woman can leave the emergency shelter, she can go live in one of our cottages for up to 2 years, and she can really get her life on track.
The shelter is placing an emphasis on community partnerships and creating viable solutions that help prevent domestic violence from occurring before it can begin.
So the shelter looks forward to expanding our domestic violence task force. The task force has done an incredible job of coming together to develop a plan to end domestic violence in Collier County. So we've been very fortunate to have the support of local law enforcement, the local hospitals, EMS, and other community organizations that have come together to really make a difference in the lives of victims.
With the advent of the shelter, though, that takes a tremendous amount of responsibility away from law enforcement to deal just with the criminal side of the call, and the shelter provides the safe haven for the victim and their family.
To me, the shelter is very important for our community. It provides the prevention programs, which I think are very important, the different things, the Helping Hands program, the Youth Advocacy Council, also the safe haven that it is at the shelter, just what it provides for the victims. And I think just the awareness throughout the community of the importance of combating domestic violence.
25 years into the shelter's existence brings about the need for new involvement, the next generation of board members to keep our mission of protecting victims alive.
The goal is ultimately to help as many families locally as possible. So I think that if they do what they're doing today, 25 years from now, that's going to be a success in and of itself.
We have fresh ideas, we have leadership, and we have the support of the next generation in this community.
Working with schools, local law enforcement, and other social services agencies, our goal is to stop the generational cycle of domestic violence before it begins.
So 5 or 10 years from now, I really see the shelter living out its dream to be a national model in leading the domestic violence movement, to make sure that victims are safe, that perpetrators are held accountable, and that we ultimately end violence in our community. If it can be done anywhere, it can be done right here.
The Shelter for Abused Women and Children, commemorating 25 years of transforming lives.
Congratulations, dear Shelter, from the trustees on our 25th anniversary. We wish you much success in the next 25 years.
Congratulations!
Congratulations on your 25th year.
Congratulations!
And here's to another 25 years.
Congratulations to the Shelter on 25 years.
Congratulations!
Congratulations on 25 years.
Congratulations to 25 years and good luck in the future.
Congratulations to the Shelter on 25 years.
Commemorating 25 years of transforming lives.